Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about the new adventures of Batman episode Girls Night Out. Girls Night Out was one of those really cool special type episodes that the show had. It feels like a backdoor pilot, but it never became fruition, sadly. I would have loved to seen a TV series about both Batgirl and Supergirl. And this is what makes this episode so special. It's the first time Batgirl and Supergirl interact in the DCAU. And so I believe this is what led to Gotham Girls, the web series. And so Superman never appears in this episode because it's a Batman episode. Batman only has like a small cameo type role. And everybody loves this version of Batgirl and this version of Supergirl, especially Supergirl's costume. I know that was a little controversial at times because it's not the one that car wears, and they had rights from DC talking about, they want Superman to be the last son of Krypton, and Kara has to come from someplace else, and she has to have a different last name, and it's all that crap. Oh, DC, DC, DC. Anyways, but yeah, Supergirl is voiced by Nicole Tom, who I just adore, and this version of Batgirl is voiced by Tara Strong, who I also adore. Now, the original Batgirl from Batman the Animated Series was Melissa Gilbert. Why they didn't bring her back, who knows? Now, what's ironic is that this version of Batgirl uses the phrase as if, same way Alicia Silverstone used it in Clueless. And of course, Alicia Silverstone also played Batgirl and Batman and Robin. However, it's weird because Melissa Gilbert actually sounds more like Alicia Silverstone. And so, with this episode, Livewire, who was introduced in Superman the Animated Series, played by that one actress who played in Tank Girl, she is being escorted, I believe, to Gotham. Because so they can kind of I think put her in a better holding cell because they have better equipment for that, or try to drain her of her powers or something like that. So they have to keep her away from electricity because of course that's where her powers can manifest a lot stronger. However, the car is electrical from the radio and stuff, so I don't know how she wasn't able to draw energy from that. And so, but right now she's completely drained. It hasn't had no electrical anything for a good while. And so when they stop, they see a down power line. And so she sees that her ticket out of here. She absorbs the energy and she gets out of there. And of course it alerts Batgirl. And so she is in the Batmobile driving around looking for Livewire. And Batman contacts her as he's in the Batjet, talking about he'll be back in Gotham in less than a day, and to be careful with her, and he'll try to get her some extra help and everything. But she believes that Livewire is probably already back in Metropolis by now. But she ain't. She wants to wreak havoc in Gotham. So her and Batgirl, they go at it. So she's electrocuting the Batmobile and stuff, to where Barbara is able to get out by ejecting the car seat. And it's so cool because when she holds on to the roof has a gliding system. I love that old school Batman tech. I'm getting so tired of all the high tech stuff and all the newer stuff. I miss that old school stuff, And when she's flying around the glider, it's funny because they're playing the old Batgirl theme music from Batman the Animated Series. So Batman contacts Clark at his apartment in Metropolis. But he's not there. And who's there? Kara. And she's house sitting. And so Batman's all he's giving her subtle clues as to give to Clark, because he doesn't necessarily know who that is. So that Clark can get the message and go to Gotham and stuff. But Supergirl, she's all who is this? Sounds like a bat to me. And everything. And he just hangs up on her. So she's excited because she's been bored while she's been in Clark's place house sitting. And so she flies out as Supergirl. Batgirl is getting zapped left and right using the roof as a shield and stuff. The roof glider thing. And then, so, but that doesn't last long. And she's about to get like electrocuted big time, and comes Supergirl to swoop in and save the day. And so, like, I forget, but um, as she flies her away, Livewire just like gets out of there. So at some point in time, we see, because I was wondering who's gonna be the female villain on the Gotham side for them to fight, right? And it's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So two of them, because it couldn't be Catwoman. Because what Catwoman really gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so at this point in time, Harley and Pamela Isley, Poison Ivy, was just like chilling at this point in time because she had kind of like left the Joker for like the millionth time. And so like they're doing their weird like banter type stuff, and what is it like? Poison Ivy's pissed at Harley because her hyenas have been pissing on her plants and stuff. And Harley's all like, we're bored in here. Let's go do something fun. And so Poison Ivy lets her know, like, look, we're two of the most wanted people in Gotham. We just can't be strolling around town. And in comes Livewire because she's able to travel through like the electrical currents and like uh, power lines and stuff like that. And so she's all like, here's your fun. So then after that, it cuts to like a mall scene. And Harley's trying to break in with a giant mallet. It's so funny seeing her doing that. Of course, now in live action, she has a smaller mallet. But I think they can make the big one work. I mean, come on. That what makes her so silly and goofy and stuff, you know? And this is a weird dynamic because, you know, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, that was weird enough, but it worked somehow. But now Livewire just so completely different. And so Livewire doesn't really like Harley and how silly and goofy she is, and gets on the annoyance of Harley and zaps her a couple of times. And so, but Pamela likes the way Livewire uses her powers. And so when they're there, they're like breaking into like ATMs, and of course Harley's hammering at it with her sledgehammer. But Pamela's being nice that she is all like, well, you know, at least she's persistent. Because Pamela always looks out for Harley. Pamela's a whole lot older, but you know, Harley's a little bit younger than her, probably about 10 or 15 years, maybe 20. And she sees her as like the dumb girl who always goes after the bad boy. So she looks after her, you know? And of course, they hook up in the comics. And so, to the annoyance of like Livewire, she pretty much zaps the ATM, causing money to go everywhere. At this point in time, we get to see Barbara and we get to see Kara like hanging out at Barbara's, like, you know, no, but they hang, no. I don't think they're hanging out at the apartment, are they? Or are they talking? No, I think they're talking to, yeah, they're talking to Bullet because, you know, oh no, wait. I'm getting something confused. It's been a while since I saw this. So I'm relying on memory because I've seen this years ago. And so at some point in time, somehow Batgirl and Supergirl show up and they go to stop those two. And so they're holding their own pretty good, but it is kind of hard. And so, you know, Poison Ivory, she has like these like seeds that like she throws at Supergirl. And of course, when it comes to Batman villains, you have to expect the unexpected, which is what Batman told Superman in the world's finest movie. Man, that was a great movie. Anyway, and so when she throws the seeds, what's her name, shoots it with her laser vision, and it causes like smoke to go everywhere. But it's harmless to Supergirl, but not to Batgirl, which causes her to suffocate and everything. And so Kara has to get her out of there like ASAP. And she takes her back to like her apartment where she's on like oxygen breathing machine. And so as like we get the only glimpse of Superman from like a picture on Batgirl's computer, her and Batman. So Supergirl's playing around on the computer and access is like denied. And so, you know, they're talking about how they're gonna like stop those two and everything. And it's kind of cool because they're kind of like, you know, the two of us against them, you know, we should be able to take them and everything. Now there is some kind of exchange between the girls and Bullock. Why? Because I was remembering why I know Bullock's in this episode. I couldn't remember why. And then I remember now. The girls get so bored, they decide to go to the Iceberg Lounge, with the Penguin owns and everything. It's kind of weird how they turned him into like that, like a host and everything. After he's a criminal. And so the girls, they're there, they're bored, they're arguing with one another. And so at some point in time, Penguin sees them arguing. He doesn't like it. He tells them to just get out. Well, they not gonna take that too kindly. And they wreak havoc. When we see the next scene, there's like electrical like discharges coming out. There are like plants types vines going that way, and there are like chattering teeth. They basically tore that place up inside. And that's when Batgirl and Supergirl show up to figure out what's going on. But Penguin is like, whatever, y'all just little girls. I want the big boys and everything. I want Superman or Batman and stuff. And this is when Bullock shows up and they're all like, look, we got this like covered and everything. He's like, yeah, right. And then so while they're back at the hideout, at some point, Batgirl and Supergirl show up. And so it's like this huge like fight between them. And I really like how it's Poison Ivy going up against Supergirl. Like, I love how they changed that, because they would have just made Supergirl go up against Livewire because they're both like super powered, and Batgirl going after Ivy and like Harley because she's used to doing that. Harley gets taken out very easily because she uses her giant like gun with the giant fist or something like that, or and she shoots Supergirl, but of course it bounces off her head because she's the strongest still, and it knocks out Harley. So at least the writers got that out the way, because it's kind of like 2 against 3, you have to take at least 1 out early, what I'm saying? So they took out the loon. And so it's once again, it's like Batgirl and like Livewire. And so I do like that dynamic, how they switch things up. And so of course Livewire, I left that apart, how they got away from like the mall type place. Well, Batgirl used the type of silicon type stuff that like covers up no yeah she covers up Livewire, so she's unable to use her powers and she's knocked out. And then so that what causes like Ivory to go after like Supergirl with like the seeds. And then Harley Quinn sprays Livewire with water, which you're not supposed to do because it shortens out her powers, make her go crazy. So in this episode, towards the end, Batgirl and Supergirl are gonna kind of do like a similar thing to what happened in the mall. They have the silicate, but it's taken out early. So now they have to use water somehow. So when Supergirl and Ivory are fighting, she loses her heat vision and it sets like one of her plants on fire. She's, how she is about plants and everything, right? So like Poison Ivy's like, oh my babies and everything. And then so like she goes and turns on the water system to save them. This gives Batgirl the idea of like just using that to her advantage. And so she's able to defeat Livewire with like the water and stuff. And of course, electrical discharges going their way, and Supergirl like flies her to safety. And so I like how they use their brain. Like, of course, Batgirl been trained by Batman, so she uses gadgets to take down Livewire, which is somebody she should not even be able to fight. But of course, when that gadget is no longer working, that chemical stuff, she's smart enough to use her brain and know water will take this girl out and stuff. And I like how Supergirl uses her brain knowing that Ivy is obsessed with plants, and that if she harms the plants, that it will make her stop doing what she does just to go like stop the plants from being harmed. I think it's a really cute scene towards the end. Bullock is on like the news and he's talking about what's going on, and we see the 2 girls, they're just like in their robes with their hair in like a towel, and they're watching it. And then so he kind of talking about, oh, just a bunch of nobodies that like saved the day. So they get like offended until he gives them some props and he's like, they have potential. And then the cutest thing happened. They turn to each other and they give each other like a high five. And they're like, yes. That was just like the coolest ending ever, man. It really solidifies that, hey, even though they're super powered, they're still females and they're still like, they're different from Batman and Superman. Batman's broody, Superman's more about a book. And these two just know how to cut loose and have fun and be young and stuff. And I like that and everything. That's why I wish they could have had their own show, but sadly they didn't. And these two never hang out again after that. We never see them hang out again. We see Barbara at like a funeral for Superman, and we see Kara there. And then in the Christmas episode, it's revealed that Kara is out skiing with some friends, but we don't know if it's Batgirl or not. But other than that, they don't hang out no more. And Batgirl never showed up in like, Justice League Unlimited when Supergirl showed up. So it's kind of like a huge bummer and stuff. But all in all, this was like a really cool, fun episode. And it was just so cool seeing them together. Like, I just want to see that again. I want to see it in live action. I want to see it in animation again. I just want to see it because it was just so much fun. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.